and DEVO?
Funny you should ask. I was just looking them up in the Multopedia. It says right here on page 46, one of the progenitors of Earth's DEVO rock group was a fellow named Jerry Casale.
That's Jerry Casale, isn't it?
Oh yes, that's right, Jerry Casale. But the DEVO rock group was very silly.
Okay, Multo, but we're going to listen to an interview with the real Jerry Casale.
Well then, let's tune in and blast off.
Felicitations, Jerry. This is Cosmic Laila from the CLCI webzine. How's it going today?
Hi.
Okay, getting to the first question here. Do you prefer to be called Jerry or Gerald?
Oh, well, it really doesn't matter. You can choose. Especially because I'm Jihad Jerry now.
Right, Jihad Jerry, right? I tend to like Jerry better because it just sounds like a little more party-going kind of a guy, you know.
That's true.
Gerald sounds more formal, like, you know, you're going to go to a, you know, like a dinner party maybe, or give a speech. Okay. Is the name Casale Italian or Spanish, or like what's the origin of that name?
It is Italian. It's in this case it's northern Italian, although there are Casales throughout Italy, but my father, his ancestors came from near the town of Torino, which is Piemonte.
That's interesting. Okay, since this is going to be a backwards, upside-down Chinese Braille interview with half the pages missing, do you have any more you'd like to say?
I always say more, but this time I'll say less.
Okay. Explain the evolution of the flower pot energy domes. You were spuds with toilet seats for a while and then went back to flower pots?
Well, you know, that was the classic iconic shape, and the inspiration for it was a ceiling fixture in my elementary school. My elementary school was built in the 30s, and all of the interior was very influenced by Art Deco. And so imagine the hats in white milk glass, suspended from 3 chains from the ceiling with a fixture inside, with a light bulb inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to stare at those because I hated going to school because it was Catholic school, and the priests and the nuns were very off-putting and freaking me out. So I would find ways to escape mentally, and I would, fantasize and imagine things and draw a lot. And I loved those fixtures. So years later, when I decided we needed a hat to complete our silver outfits for the cover of Freedom of Choice, I thought of that immediately of, hey, what if it came off the ceiling? What if I turned it upside down?
Yeah, there you go.
What if we made it red? And what if we made it out of plastic so it was very light instead of heavy milk glass, so we could wear it, throw it away?
Fascinating.
And that's how that happened.
All right. Yeah. That's a fascinating story, yeah. Okay, I'd like to ask about some DEVO tracks. I'll mention the song, and you tell me what's the story behind them, okay?
You got it.
All right, so one by one, here we go. Joko Hamo.
We lost our tail, be morning up, the mill's tail. Prices all, just wind and sail. Are we not men?
We are DEVO.
Are we not men? We're pinheads now. We are not whole. We're pinheads all. Jocko Homo. Are we not men? We are DEVO. Are we not men? DEVO. Are we not men? We are DEVO. Monkey men all in business suits. Teachers and critics all dance the boots. Are we not men? We are DEVO. Are we not men? DEVO. Are we not men? We are DEVO. Are we not men? DEVO.
Well, that's our name check song, since we'd been spouting these theories about de-evolution and writing about how man was not progressing, but he was regressing and getting dumber and less able of thinking logically and rationally. And, I was putting that out in the world quite frequently among my professors and my graduate student colleagues. And so one art professor found a pamphlet in a junk store called Jocko Homo, Heaven-Bound King of the Apes. And it was a right-wing reactionary religious pamphlet that showed man ascending the stairway to hell with the devil at the top of it. And the steps were marked with, each cardinal sin, each sin that man creates, and usury and slavery and lust and the whole thing. And we laughed at it and thought it was very funny, but at the same time we found a book, and the book was The Beginning Was the End by an Austrian anthropologist who in fact had been a Nazi during World War II. And he had the theory that man came about from eating the brains of other apes. When he was an ape, he was a cannibalistic ape, ate the brains of other apes, that increased the size of his own brain and made him go nuts. And he lost his hair, and he lost his sixth sense, and he lost his tail, and he became a psychotic ape that looked like a human. So we were so amused by all this that, Mark and I were discussing it all, and Mark took all the pieces from this pamphlet and came up with the structure for Jocko Homo, the song, based on that literature. And so that became our name check song. Are we not men? We are DEVO is the answer. We're not men. We're something else.
Right.
We're much more convoluted. We're much more twisted and crazy.
Yeah, right, and kind of going more backward than forward, right?
At an exponential rate, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be blind not to notice that. Okay.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
A lot of blind people out there.
Yeah, I know, surprisingly. Okay, next song is Space Junk.
She was walking all alone down the street in the alley. Her name was Sally. I never touched her when she was hit by, when she was smashed by, when she was killed by, in New York, Miami. on Christmas Eve, ignoring a Soviet Sputnik in Africa, India, in Venezuela, in Texas, in Kansas, Peru too. Keeps coming. It keeps coming. It keeps coming.
Wow. Well, that came right from the, that was like dashed right from the headlines. In major newspapers in that year, I think it was 76, there were reports of space junk hitting the planet, and in one case, the space junk hit a building and killed one of the secretaries in the building.
Oh.
And so I just made up a fictional story around this secretary that had been killed, and the whole song became about space junk killing Sally in the alley.
Okay, that's good rhyming there too.
Very basic.
Yeah, it is. It is. Sometimes the basic stuff gets through a lot more better than the more complicated stuff, or I've observed.
You better believe it. Yep. Yep.
Okay, Mongoloid.
Aha. Well, Mongoloid, when I was growing up, that was a condition you saw a lot. We had Mongoloids in our school, and you would run into a lot of people with Mongoloidism. And, of course, mean-spirited kids would make fun of kids with Down syndrome, and they would call each other Mongoloids when they were being mean. That was a form of derision, that just slur, like, you Mongoloid.
Yeah.
And most of the kids that were using those slurs were, they were idiots. They were jocks. They were mean. They were stupid. But they thought they were cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned it around on them. Mongoloid is the hero of that song. And the people that yell Mongoloid at you, then they are the Mongoloids that they make fun of in reality.
Right? Basically turning a slur into a compliment, right?
Yes.
All right. Shrivel up.
Shrivel up. It's at the top of the list that you can't get pissed. No, you can't get pissed. It's rule number 1. Living right isn't fun. Living right isn't fun, 'cause it's a God-given fact that you can't go back. No, you can't go back. It's a God-given law that you're gonna lose your mind. Yes, you're gonna lose your mind. Time tested and true. You gotta pooty poo poo. Gotta pooty poo poo. Well, it's a God-given law. You're gonna get small. Yes, you're gonna get small. Maybe just another rap. But you're running out of sap. Yes, you're running out of sap. Well, you better take the rap. Dying under daddy's cap. Dying under daddy's cap now. Oh, shrivel up. Shrivel up, DEVO!
Again, that's a song about entropy, about the inevitable. Like, we all shrivel up. We go from life over death to death overtaking life, and our footprint gets smaller and smaller, and usually people get more and more afraid and less brave, and they shrivel up. They shrivel up psychologically before they shrivel up physically, before they start losing height, because their vertebrae starts to fuse together, and they actually get shorter.
And you pull down by gravity of the earth.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like the gravity of the situation, yes. The gravity of life itself.
All right. Right on. Freedom of choice.
Right. That was my wry commentary on the fact that our freedom of choice is really manufactured and trivial. The freedoms that people, really tout and trumpet are meaningless freedoms. Like, you're free to choose between Pepsi and Coke.
Yep.
You're free. You're free to choose between brown jeans and blue jeans. It's like it's these manufactured, controlled substances and choices of consumer society where people are made to feel like they have choice when really they don't have any choice at all.
Oh,
And really they're more willing to give up choice. And that's what's been proven, is people really are afraid of choice. They want to be told what to do and what to think. They want to conform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. That's the sad part of what we're seeing in society these days. Okay.
More than ever.
Yes. Beautiful world.
Yeah, well, it could be. That's a sad song. It's one man's opinion, mine. I think the planet's incredible. I think it's truly incredible. The older I get, the more I realize how much I took for granted and how possibly, in reality, despite what science posits, speculating. It's hard to say for sure if there's any other place like Earth. But what has man managed to do? Man is managed to shit in his own backyard and destroy the beautiful planet. And then what's his solution to that? Get off the planet. Get out of here. You fucked it up. Now it's time to get out of here. Brilliant. That is exactly what's wrong with man. So Beautiful World is about the fact that, it is beautiful except for the duality of human nature, which possesses a fatal flaw. And now we are reaping the consequences of that fatal flaw.
Yep. And also, if we get off this planet and then just go, like they want to talk about going to Mars and go to another planet and terraform it or something, then we're just going to trash that one too, right?
Pure fantasy.
Even if we could do it, it's still just trash it, right?
Well,
that's all
that
we
would
would
be
do.
the sci-fi movie, right?
Absolutely.
That would be the sci-fi movie. It takes 500 years. They get it to the point where it looks like the Earth kind of used to look, and then you watch them fuck it up and repeat it.
Yep, that's right. I couldn't have put it better myself. Find out.
In store, you've been riding high, feel that cold wind blow. Now get back on the highway where the rest of us must go. To find out, and maybe when you do, you'll even find out you haven't got a clue till you find out. It's never like they say. You're gonna find out. They'll take it all away.
Find out, right?
Find out.
Well, humans unfortunately have the ability to speak, and that just makes sure that they, like James Brown said, talking loud, saying nothing, means they slather a lot. They verbal diarrhea. They say too many things. They don't think before they speak, and they don't find out the truth or the facts before they spout their stupid opinions. We find out is all about that. It's like, you better find out the way things really work or shut up.
Right? I know a lot of people, they don't even know how to speak at all. They talk, but they do not speak.
They just talk. They just talk.
Yes, and incessantly, some of them.
You got that right.
Yep. What we do.
Well, it's, we were having fun. That was me trying to just use a tautology, because I just kept hearing all these hip-hop guys in interviews going, that's just what I do, what I do is what I do. That's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's just what I do. That's what I do. I just do what I do. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to make a whole song about what we do is what we do. And in fact, what are we doing? Oh, we're being stupid. Feeding and breeding and pumping gas.
And do it again.
And do it again.
That's right, yep.
Digging that hole.
Yeah, digging that hole, right? Oh, yeah. And getting on to that subject, the next song we have is No Place Like Home.
Seems believe we are created.
Well, that's Beautiful World Part 2. That's me as a senior citizen, basically revisiting the sentiments of Beautiful World in a different way, saying basically what many scientists have said, which is if humans manage to destroy their own species, the Earth will return to the beauty and pristine state it was in, 100, 200,000 years ago.
That's actually one of my favorite songs from the album, just because of that message right there. I mean, it just really hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monster Man.
He's a virus who can't stop with a gun. Getting plans from my mind insane. Loud screams, the house of pain. There is no zombie in the closet. There is no thing underneath the bed. There's no alien doctor. The monster's in your head. Say what you want, say what you will. Said and done, the threat is still Monster Man. They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so don't try to understand him. Everything is Halloween, it's all obscene. To Monster Man, 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 man.
Oh, that was done for a TV reality show. It was kind of done as a favor to a friend. He's a special effects wizard who was featured in that short-lived reality TV show, where his own executive producer basically sabotaged the show because it went to his head that he was on TV. And we wrote that song to be the theme song of the show, and then the people that really had control of the show said, "What the fuck is this?" And used some terrible piece of music from some unknown heavy metal band, and they kind of like they kind of screwed the pooch from the beginning.
Okay. You have a wonderful way with words, I must say. You're a word warrior. I can recognize one. Okay.
I like word warrior.
Yeah, absolutely. When you say that you reflected as a senior citizen, I just want to let you know that time is illusory. So it's all about how you perceive time. I personally don't think of myself as being older or younger at any particular time because, if you live in zero G...
I never did either. at 30, in my mind, I was still 29. At 60, in my mind, I was still 29. Nothing had changed.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I have to tell you, somewhere around 69, something happened that never happened before. Because as you age, you will experience things that never happened before eventually. And, reality came crashing in. It was interesting, like a whole new perception that I think I had been avoiding.
Okay. Yeah, well, like I said, life throws a lot of stuff at you. You just got to try to keep in mind who you are, who you want to be, and how you feel. Your health is important, but it's all part of whether you're positive or negative in your thinking. But, I think you're in touch with that, so. Okay, that's it for the list of songs. So now some more questions about DEVO. How did you meet? Okay. How did you meet Mark Mothersbaugh?
I met him while I was a graduate student at Kent State University in Ohio, and he was living in Akron, and he was commuting and taking some art classes at Kent State, not as a full-time student or under a degree program, but just taking art classes. And I kept seeing these decals that were plastered on trophy cases around the university where they would display trophies won by various sports figures at the school, students who had excelled at sports. And then there were these water-released decals being stuck on the trophy cases, kind of, early, guerrilla art, right? Like graffiti or what Banksy does. They were naughty things, and you could get in trouble for doing it. And so I started asking questions about who's this guy doing this? Who is this guy? And finally somebody knew who it was and said, "Oh, you can meet him. He works in this space off campus downtown Kent when he's here." So I tracked him down because I had a studio down there as a graduate student, and we hit it off. I showed him my art. He loved it, and I loved what he was doing. But we didn't like the music that each of us was playing. Like, he was playing prog rock and I was playing blues. And we didn't like each other's music much. And so it was me that kind of like kept pushing the idea of taking this DEVO concept that I'd been spouting and the art that I was making that I called DEVO art. And I said, why don't we, we're artists. Why don't we do music as artists? Like, why don't we do something brand new? And if it sounds like what I'm doing or sounds like what you're doing, like these genres that already exist, we stop and we don't do it.
I see.
And he finally liked that idea. So we started just with a tabla rosa, just started from blank paper and got rid of all assumptions and all cliches and just started with the most minimal, crude stuff we could on purpose. And that was the minimalism of DEVO. And we made DEVO music.
Yeah, created something really unique and special in doing that.
Yeah.
Was DEVO in the 70s fueled by certain chemical substances such as LSD, speed, or marijuana?
A little pot. We were really just blue-collar guys that didn't even have the money to get into expensive drugs. And there were no good expensive drugs to be had in Ohio. And the pot was not the pot people have today. It wasn't your tech hydroponic pot with tons of THC. It was like stuff where you had to smoke 3 joints and go, do you feel anything? But that was about it. That and mixed drinks, that was it.
Okay. Is your left-handed bass playing emulating Paul McCartney?
Yeah, I just couldn't be anything but left-handed. In that horrible Catholic school I told you about, they used to beat my hands with a ruler and put the pen in my right hand.
Ouch.
Because they believed left-handed people that was the sign of the devil that you were evil, that
Oh.
the devil was in you.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I, I would cry, and then they would leave, and I'd put the pen back in my left hand, and
That's messed
that was
up.
it. I was so left. I mean, I could only draw and write with my left hand. I could only throw a baseball and a football with my left hand. I could only kick a football with my left foot. I was so not right. I was so not right.
Oh, you're left-footed as well. Oh
So
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. Okay.
Jimi Hendrix tells that story that he, when he was growing up, there was no such thing as a left-handed guitar. He couldn't find one, but he was so left-handed, he could not play the guitar right-handed. So he flipped it upside down and learned how to play that guitar left-handed.
Oh,
He became
yeah.
the greatest guitarist on earth.
okay. Is Paul McCartney the devil?
Hardly. He's kind of like a Tinkletoon Smith. I mean, he's Rodgers and Hammerstein. His stuff comes closer to show tunes than anything. He's incredible, though, because he's a bass player that wasn't a bass player. He's always playing harmonics. He's never even playing the root most of the time. He's playing melodies and harmonics to the root on his bass. And no one else plays bass like Paul McCartney.
Yeah, agreed there. Who is your favorite bass player?
God. Well, that's tough because most of my favorite bass players are dead. That would have been...
That doesn't change anything.
That would have been James Jamerson, the famous Motown bass player, and Jack Bruce from the Cream, and Sean Entwistle.
Oh yeah, Thunderfinger.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What about Roger Waters?
Roger Waters, God, I didn't even thought of that. Well, he certainly is great. What can you say? He's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hadn't thought of that. Pink Floyd never excited me that much. I appreciated it intellectually, but the others excited me. Like down on a primal monkey level. And who else? There's more.
Oh, there certainly is. Yeah. You got Hooky from Joy Division who plays high on the bass.
Oh yeah, that's very cool.
Yep. As a fellow bass player, I actually do kind of tend toward Roger Waters just because he plays with the pick, and I noticed a lot of bass players don't do that, and I noticed you do that too.
Yeah, that's how I learned, and I couldn't suddenly pick up that finger picking with any kind of true agency or authority. I couldn't do it. It didn't sound right.
Yeah. I feel more comfortable with the pick myself.
Yeah.
I'm actually in a band called the Cosmiks, in case you didn't know. So I'm doing this journalism thing as a side.
I did know. Yeah.
Okay. Who told you? Okay.
Everybody.
Everybody.
All over the place.
Oh, okay. How would you describe DEVO to someone from the young generation of today?
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? Boy, I like that question. That is a hard question.
Well, just pretend you're talking to a young person, and they've never heard of it, or they don't remember it, or never heard of it. I mean, there are people who actually never heard of DEVO there.
Well, imagine something where the ideas mattered as much as the style, so that even though we were in our time hated by radio DJs, hated by the rock press, we've endured where more people 40 years later buy our stuff and buy our hats and buy our yellow suits than they did at the time we were new and in the press, because the substance of what we did withstood the test of time.
Yeah, here. I think that DEVO is another one of those timeless things, and as they say, good music is timeless, so it doesn't matter whether you listen to something from 100 years ago or 2 minutes ago, if it's good
Yeah,
It's good.
good is good.
Right.
Yeah.
Was DEVO originally intended to be a punk band?
No, we had no such intention ever. It's just that, at some point we intersected with whatever was trendy and happening at that point in time. We'd been in the basement and garages since early 1974, working all the time. So for 3 years, nobody knew about DEVO, and we were writing, songs until we had like about 45 songs in 1977 when punk hit America, and so they decided we were punk. But listen to us, watch us, look at the old footage. Is that punk? I don't know. It has urgency, it has anger, it has a lot of energy, so maybe we were the real punks.
Yeah, probably. Well, it seemed a lot less phony than the ones that were sticking safety pins in their noses and stuff. Right?
Well, we never conformed,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's funny about punk. Punk was supposed to be like anti-establishment. Punk was supposed to be fuck you, rebellion. Punk was supposed to be do it yourself. Well, they all adhered to orthodoxy, the same 3 or 4 chords, the same ripped T-shirts and safety pins, and the same look. It was ridiculous. It was conformity. How is that punk?
Yeah, I know. They ultimately became the thing that they were rebelling against, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all about fashion, and the music is getting lost, man. That's really the worst part of the whole deal there.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the idea behind Recombo DNA?
Well, there was, again, we were people who read. We weren't anti-intellectual, but we were reading a lot about these experiments with recombinant DNA, and it was both exciting and frightening. It's like, oh, now they're going to start fucking with DNA, cutting and pasting, and of course, our minds, raced and went wild about the possibilities of that going wrong. Like, oh, what could go wrong when human beings start splicing DNA?
Oh, man.
So,
I can think of a few things.
We became obsessed with musing about that stuff, And we even called our own publishing company, Recombinant Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, when you write songs, do you usually approach it from the direction of the bass guitar or some other instrument?
Well, that was a very interesting interview with Jerry Casale.
You mean Jerry Casale? It's Italian!
Oh yes, and part 2 is next week. That's the week after next week, which is next. If it was 3 next weeks, then it would be 3 next weeks, but it's only 2. So part 2 is next week, which means it's only 2 next weeks. So we'll tune in again for part 2 with Jerry Casale.
Jerry Casale! It's Italian!
Yes, on What's Happening with the Cosmiks.